In 2022, a action figure sold for $204,000. That figure was Boba Fett. This is not that figure. But this is a posable scale model action figure-ish of Boba Fett as he appeared in The Empire Strikes Back in 1980. Now, and when action figure-ish, excuse me. Now, when Boba Fett first appeared in Empire Strikes Back, he had actually been on screen before in a deleted scene for the first Star Wars movie. At the time, it was just called Star Wars. Now we call it Episode 4, A New Hope. He appeared in a scene with Han Solo in front of the Millennium Falcon before it takes off from Tatooine. And his armor was gray and green, and he makes a very specific appearance. But when I did some research on this today's episode, I saw that they were still trying to figure out his color scheme for Empire Strikes Back, saying that there was a white motif, that it was supposed to be like a Ultra Commando version of Troopers. That is true. I have seen those pictures, but his appearances before that call that into question as far as if that question was, or if that fake character was actually meant to be anything other than what we have today. Here are the decals. Now, Bandai with these figures and decals, we'll put that aside for right now. You got your torso pieces. So this is the back armor. This is your under armor torso pieces where you can see the folds in the shirt. This is part of his mask, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. Waist pieces, belt. Oh, there's your mask. There's his rifle as it appears, or blaster as it appears in Empire Strikes Back. His cape suspended over his shoulder. This is in the movie. You see this draped over one of his shoulders, and this is supposed to be Wookiee hair, because he is the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy by this time. His story being more fleshed out in other movies, such as Attack of the Clones, where it is revealed that Boba Fett is a clone of Jango Fett. And Jango Fett, of course, as we all know, is the Easter Bunny. I mean, he is, at that time, the most feared bounty hunter in the whole universe, a very respected one. And his armor, as we know now, comes from the race of Mandalorians, who has a very, very acclaimed show on Disney Plus. A lot of very well written episodes. And their armor is very similar, but just like different militaries of the world, you have different armor for the Mandalorians. Here is his shoes, gun holster, part of the, this is a cutout for the base in which you can stand, so you can place his foot in so it can be removable from the stand. And again, the stickers. You can see how they've got a little outline to show that where you can peel them back. If you ever do a Google search for, if you're curious as to see what the white commando Boba Fett armor looks like. It's worth looking up. I think, ironically enough, one of the big scene pictures you're going to find is one of that's in black and white. Yes, I just got the question. Am I going to put this together? Yes, I'm going to be putting this together, and I'm pretty sure I am going to make it look like a Commando Stormtrooper concept white armor. More of the helmet, and of course the very famous dented helmet right here. Here's your backpack as it snaps onto the back. These Bandai kits, as you can see from the different colors, are molded in the colors that they're supposed to be. It's supposed to be accessible to most people, especially children. Something that you can just clip out and put them together without having to worry about painting and not without having to worry about gluing as well. You do have options for the hands, as you can see. He can be grasping the gun or whatever. You've got his pouches, his buttocks. Speaking of buttocks, the person that actually portrayed him in Empire Strikes Back, his last name was Bullocks, which is a British naughty word for the other side of the buttocks. Now, one of my favorite things in almost every kit is the instruction manual. Of course, a real man doesn't need an instruction manual to put a Boba Fett together. I do. I'm not a real man. Or the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy. Or the Easter Bunny. Very simple. Follow along. Now, this, I will say this, I put together a couple Bandai figures, and I will say that even though that they are simplified, molded in color, as well as giving you stickers, as well as it being pretty well snapped forward, I will say that I would still paint this. Of course, if I'm going to do the white armor, I'm going to paint this, but I would still paint it even if you're going to do the Boba Fett with the same colors. And I would also glue pieces together. I want to highlight a couple things really quick. As you put things together, you can see how the joints are. Now, I will say, once you get these together, these joints are very well hidden. The seams are very well hidden. You're still going to want to sand them down. And that's where painting will come into place. But you might want to be very careful in masking the joints or protecting the joints in some way to keep them from being glued or painted during construction. But you can, in theory, take this out of the box, start snipping pieces out, and put them together as is. And you're going to have a fine figure once you're done, and something that's posable, action posable. You're going to be able to get some really good poses out of this guy. And if you do a little bit of weathering on top of it, it's going to be even better. Even if you don't plan on painting the action figure, if you take the time to weather a little bit, it's going to look really nice, and it's going to pop on your shelf or wherever you display it. So that is, there's your backpack right there, your famous jetpack. By the way, speaking of the one that sold at auction for $204,000, again, not this one, not this one right here, but the one that sold for $204,000. That action figure was released in 1978, before the Empire Strikes Back had been released. It was released in 1980, and it featured the carded figure that sold for $204,000 was a prototype that was carded, and it featured a firing missile pack on the jetpack. When it came to production, it didn't have the firing missile on the jetpack. So if you are looking for the original Kenner figures, the 3 3/4 scale, excuse me, 3 3/4 inch action figures, you're not going to find the missile firing jetpack. Speaking of which, if you wanted it in 1978, the missile firing jetpack Boba Fett, it was something that was offered exclusively as a mail order, mail order exclusive. And that was something where if you bought a few of the Kenner action figures, you would get the proof of purchases from the back. You'd cut them off. You'd mail them to a mail house, and they would fulfill that order. Now, those orders came fulfilled the next year in 1979, before the release of Empire Strikes Back. Someone asked about my shows where I put these together, and I have been slacking on that. So let me address that elephant in this room. I do have some episodes that are still being filmed and still being edited. The voiceover work, unfortunately, I do have a full-time job in which I work long hours. I also have a family, which does come first. And so they will get my attention. And when I can, I will get back to some of these. I'm close to having a couple edited, finished, and voiced overed soon. I am waiting for one. I'm doing some fanfic backstory on one, and so that will be ready hopefully 4 days after the beginning of May. Hint, hint. And that's a build that actually was supposed to be for last year on May 4th. Oh, did I spill the beans on that one? May the 4th? Anyway, so, and then I've got some other ones. I've got a Nissan Pulsar GTIR that was finished back in August of last year that I haven't finished editing or doing the voiceover work on that. So I've got a lot of work to take care of. I've got a couple other kits that were supposed to be ready and released by January. So I do apologize for all those out there that would like to see me finish these kits. I really appreciate your patience on that. I really appreciate your watching. And I really want to say thank you for everything that you guys do for me, because that's what the hobby is about, is having fun and sharing it with others. One other special announcement, as I said on my special April Fool's Day episode 3 days ago, I will be in New York watching the total eclipse of the sun in the Adirondack Mountains. So I will be broadcasting that live on the live stream. I believe it should be in the area about 3:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're interested in the eclipse and you're not during the path of total eclipse, please watch it. It'll also be available after my live stream. It'll be a regular video that I have up. So please enjoy that if you can't make it live. And I certainly hope to see you then. I appreciate those that are on now and those will be watching later. And thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best.